Going live. Okay, good. And then you're saying you could turn this on. Hello, good morning. I'm exercising and talking to you. Okay, good. I'm talking to you and walking. All right, good. I guess that's the lowest setting.
Yes.
All right, good.
If you don't like what it's doing, you can just always pull this out.
Okay, thanks. And that's a one way to turn it off quickly. All right, sweetie. Thank you, sweetie. Or the remote control.
If you can get to it soon enough.
Right. All right. Good morning, everybody. Here we are at um, Cougar is a Doomer. So that's a good channel name because reminds us what we're talking about, and that's not a minor thing to talk about. To be a Doomer. Okay, so I'm a Doomer, um, and basically, so I'm on the channel because I'm a Doomer too. His wife, the Doomer, the Doomer's wife. The wife is a Doomer too. And all right, good. So anyway, talking about um well, all the death and dying, we could talk about that. But what Cougar is a Doomer says that we're going to lose a lot of us, and we already seen that, in terms of massive. There's going to be massive human suffering, which is what my son Marshall was saying, that his generation is going to be experiencing massive human suffering. All right, so anyway, so we've been telling our kids and our neighbors, because we have to build a village. That's our job, is to build a village. And that's okay, good. So, we can do that. Yesterday I was on my neighborhood association Shasta Hanship Park Neighborhood Association board meeting, and I'm so happy they have it on on what's it called, on Zoom. Isn't that wonderful? So I say, okay, well, I'll participate because I love not going into places since COVID, and in general now it's nice to have it at home. And so I went to that meeting, and the city council there's a city council representative, which in our case is Michael McCahey, and his wife Kimberly McCahey. I looked that up because I met her. She's very nice, and we met at the. I was at this meeting of the what is it called? This is called Pioneers of Silicon Valley. Pioneers of Silicon Valley. That's neat. That's a neat group, and they have a museum, because we have a historic building that's called Roberto Adobe and Sonol House. The Roberto Adobe and Sonol House. Very interesting story about that, because I didn't get my water. But anyway, so Roberto was Native American, and I guess the Spaniards, when they came in to make everybody Christian, they took the Native Americans and they put them to work to build the missionaries, the missions. So Roberto was one of those person who was taken in. But then somewhere along the line, they got freed up. I don't know what happened, but they got freed from the mission work that they were doing. Like I always say, they said they came to make them Christians, but it was at the edge of a sword, or at the end of a gun, that that who was he? It was Saint Francis. What was his name? Not Saint Francis. It was anyway, the guy whose statue came down off of the 280 expressway. The Hunapacera. The Hunapacera. he was Hunapacera. Hunapacera was the father Hunapacera. Father Hunapacera. But he came and he had the military behind him saying, "You're going to become a Christian." Anyway, so there he was. He was becoming a Christian, and then they freed him up, Roberto. And they gave them land. Well, it was pretty nice. So they gave them land. And this is the story that I hear. Maybe I'm not saying it exactly right. I'm from New York, so I didn't learn this when I was a child about the missions, but I did homeschool my kids, so I studied the missions a little bit, not that great. And then, but basically, what was it? So they gave him like 500 acres or something. I don't know, something good amount of land from the confluence of the confluence of the Los Gatos Creek that comes off of the Santa Cruz Mountains and goes to the Guadalupe River. So at that confluence, which is in Willow Glen, and you have that's where the Los Gatos Creek meets the Guadalupe River that flows to the ocean. And so at that point is where his land was. And that's where the Roberto house is, the Roberto adobe was that he built. So he built this adobe, just a little nothing of a place. And that's all he built was a little thing made out of bricks. And it had like maybe a little window. And it was very, very small. It was nothing. It was very minimal. It was like more like a tent. And that was it. But it was made out of bricks. I mean, that's pretty substantial compared to a tent. And then the land went all the way to the Rose Garden off of Nagley and what is that? Nagley and Park and Nagley or so. So it went a pretty good distance. Like, I guess that would be Park and Nagley. That's maybe about and I don't know, it's about 2 miles or so, 2 miles. So it was a lot of property. And, but then supposedly Roberto, the Native American, lost a bet. And he owed Sonol, who was the Spaniard, $500. So he gave him all that land. And that was it. Then it became Sonol's. Anyway, why was I telling you the story? Oh, okay. So that I was at at this museum, the Roberto Adobe Sonol house, and Sonol built a much bigger house, regular old house with windows and 2 stories and a lot more resources, wood, right? Yeah. So whereas the adobe was built out of brick, out of sand, where to build a house out of wood, you're cutting down trees, right? So. And that was the Spaniards for you. So they used a lot more natural resources, of course. And so anyway, progress. And so my husband is now taking some gravel and he's putting it into his basement. Thank him for doing that. Anyway, and so what was I saying? Okay, give it back to well, what is so when I went to the farmers market that I've been going to in Willow Glen, which it's only about 2 miles. So it's very close to my home. So that was nice. It's not that bad. Lincoln Avenue, for whatever reason, Abraham Lincoln, I guess is named after. Take that down, which comes to Lincoln and Park, and take it all the way down to Lincoln and Minnesota. So, but anyway, I was coming home and there were these 2 people sitting outside the adobe, Roberto Adobe and Sonol house. And they waved at me. I was on my tricycle, my electric trike. And so I went in, but anyway, the museum was open and they gave me a tour. And so I met this beautiful woman. Her name was Julissa. And she's part Native American. But anyway, there was another time I was riding by and she stopped me. I just happened to stop in front of the adobe Roberto Adobe, and she was there, and she came out and told me that on Sunday they were having a program about her native plants, and she's really into her native plants, and we talked about the monarch butterflies, and she's really into that and planting for them. And so I told her I would come, and so I came to that event, and I talked to the head of the what's his name, the head of the program, the nonprofit that's called the what's it called, the pioneers, of pioneers of Santa Clara, Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley, or Santa Clara County. Maybe it's Santa Clara County. I don't think it's Silicon. The pioneers of Santa Clara County, and something like that. And so I was talking to the head guy. His name was I forgot, Ted or something. Ted, I think. Anyway, really nice older guy. And so I was telling him about what Cougar the Doomer talks about. Cougar is a doomer, and he talks about that we have, that we've hit the iceberg. We've hit the iceberg. It's not like the window's about to shut or things like that. We've hit the iceberg, and we've got to get to the lifeboats. And there were only 20 lifeboats. We did some research. How many lifeboats was on the Titanic? There were only 20. Wait, no. Was it only 20 or was it only... I forgot. If it wasn't that many, it wasn't 20. Hey, Google, how many lifeboats were on the Titanic?
The Titanic was equipped with 20 lifeboats.
Oh, 20. Okay, and I think they carried about... Hey, Google, how many people could fit on the lifeboats of the Titanic? Anyway, maybe it's going to answer. But anyway, what it was is like there was only enough, really, they said, for the wealthy people who paid to get on the Titanic. So there was I think there was 1/3 the amount of people could fit on those lifeboats. Only 1/3. So not everybody had a lifeboat. So they said only the wealthy, the ones that paid for the trip, they had lifeboats. So, right. So, he says, get to the lifeboat. And the lifeboat is village life, where all our needs are met by ourselves and our neighbors. And I guess you can say the wealthy are the ones that are going to survive, because having land is important to say that you're going to provide for yourselves and your neighbors. And can't do that as easily when you live in a 10-story building with an apartment. So yeah, so and I guess Cougar says that at that point you need to be connected with people who have land. Right. That sounds good. So I've been telling my kids that. I've been telling my kids that they should live with us and on our property, but they don't listen. And anyway, and so then, okay, so getting back to that, I guess with the Sonol house, well, I guess that was it. That I was talking to this guy, Ted, right? And he's the president of the Pioneers of Santa Clara County. And he said, and anyway, turns out that Rod Diridon is also on their board. Honorable Rod Diridon Sr. is his name. Honorable Rod Diridon Sr. And he's actually a friend of mine on Facebook. So that was pretty cool. Well, I met Rod Diridon when I was, I'm 67 now. And I was 60, I guess it was 2018. 2018 is when we went out. Me and Andrew Boone was living here, 2018. He was renting a room from us. And I met Andrew Boone. He started a nonprofit. No, it wasn't a nonprofit, not official. He started he made stickers for his group. And the group he had, well, I guess he's a writer, so he would write for some article, and his group was called I walk, I bike, I vote. I walk, I bike, I vote. Yeah. and that was good. Yeah. So I met Andrew Boone at Bike Party. We used to go to Bike Party in San Jose. Once a month, they would have a big bike party and we'd ride around the city. So, or the county. Anyway, and so what was that? Anyway, so that was Andrew Boone. What was I saying? Oh, in 2018, this is how I met Rod Diridon. So the reason I was talking about Rod Diridon is that when I was talking to Ted, and actually I met Rod Diridon at the Pioneers. He was there. He had just gotten injured though, so he's old. He's like 84, and not that old, but he's 84. And so he was there, and I wanted to talk to him, but his wife, I forget her name, was saying that, hey Google, what is Rod Diridon's wife's name?
Rod Diridon Sr.'s wife is Dr. Gloria C. Duffy.
Oh, Dr. Gloria Duffy. Hey Google, what kind of doctor is Gloria Duffy?
Dr. Gloria Duffy holds a doctorate in political science from Columbia University.
Oh.
She has a diverse career, including roles in research, education, public service, and defense and arms control policy.
Wow.
She is currently the president and CEO of the Commonwealth Club of California.
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh, how beautiful. Yeah, well, Rod Diridon has a beautiful history too. And I guess he was in the Vietnam War, which is unusual for 84, but I guess that makes sense. He was 84. I mean, my brother was dealing with the Vietnam War. My oldest brother, Leslie, he is now, I'm 67, so he's 77. So, but that was the end of the war. And then my younger brother, who's 75, he joined the reserve, but he was dealing with the Vietnam War. But the Vietnam War went on for many years. Hey, Google, how many years did the Vietnam War go on?
The Vietnam War lasted for 20 years,
Wow,
from 1955 to 1975.
So that, Rod Diridon was in the thick of it at 84. It was before we all were protesting against it, because by the time my brother, who was 77, we were wearing our black bands and protesting not to go to the Vietnam War. Hey Google, how long were people, what is it called, drafted into the Vietnam War?
During the Vietnam War era, from 1964 to 1973, 2.2 million American men were drafted. Those selected were liable for a 21-month term of active duty service, followed by 5 years in a reserve component.
Yeah, so there was a lot of drafting going on. That was hey Google, was Vietnam the end of the drafting of men from America into the military?
Active conscription in the United States ended in January 1973 with the winding down of the Vietnam War.
Wow.
Since then, the U.S. Armed Forces have been an all-volunteer military. While draft registration was reinstated in 1980, no one has been drafted since 1973.
1973. So yeah. So, hey Google, when did the Vietnam War draft start?
The United States never formally declared war on North Vietnam, so conscription during the 1960s took place under the legal authority of the peacetime draft, which had been in place since 1940. Draft calls increased significantly from 1964, and the first draft lottery since 1942 was held on December 1st, 1969. This lottery determined the order of call for induction in 1970 for men born between 1944 and 1950.
That was my brother, 1950. Howard was born 1950. Leslie was 1948. Yeah. So, and then Rod Diridon. Hey Google, if you're 84 now, what year were you born? See if they figured it out.
If you're 84 now, you would have been born in 1941.
1941. So right. So he was 41, 51, 61. Yeah, something. He was part of that original drafting. So he was in the Vietnam War, Rod Diridon, and I'm not sure if he was born. Hey Google, where was Rod Diridon born?
Rod Diridon Sr. was born in Eureka, California.
Oh, good. Very good. So he's a Californian. He's Californian. And so born in Eureka. And the wood, most probably his father was a lumberer or something, something like that. Like Eureka has so much lumber up there, and so anyway, trees up there. Anyway, and so then what was it? So he Vietnam War, but then he got into, I think he said he got into politics. I think he got into politics. He ran, and then he got into politics. So he was, yeah, and he was the city council member for Saratoga or something, and he's the Honorable Rod Diridon Sr. And then he was into transportation, and so anyway, we even have Diridon Station. Diridon Station is our name of our big railroad station in San Jose. The downtown, the main railroad is called Diridon Station. And so, yeah, so Rod Diridon. So, and then he marries, what was her name? Hey, Google, what is Rod Diridon's wife's name? Gloria Duffy.
Rod Diridon Sr.'s wife is Dr. Gloria Duffy.
Dr. Gloria Duffy. Oh, wow, that's so beautiful. And she, hey, Google, how many children do Rod Diridon and Gloria Duffy have?
Rod Diridon Sr. and Dr. Gloria Duffy have 2 children, Rod Jr. and Mary, and 4 grandchildren.
Oh, that's nice. So anyway, so basically, Dr. Gloria Duffy and Honorable Rod Diridon Sr. We're at the meeting of the pioneers, and so then they, but he had fallen, so they couldn't talk very well. And Dr. Gloria Duffy wanted to take him home, and so we didn't really talk very much. But he was very sweet. I reminded him where I had met him originally, and that was at City Hall in 2018. That I and Andrew Boone had gone down to City Hall because Andrew Boone had met what's her name? Deanna Persay, something like that is her name. And she was at City Hall protesting. And she had a sign that says, "We have 12 years. We have 12 years." And it was after the 1.5 report came out from the IPCC, and it said, that, hey, Google, what did the 1.5 report say in terms of that we had 12 years? I think it was to reduce it 50% by 2030 or something. Let's see.
The IPCC's 1.5 degrees Celsius special report, published in 2018, indicated that to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, global net human-caused carbon dioxide emissions would need to fall by about 45% from 2010 levels by 2030, reaching net zero around 2050. This means significantly reducing emissions in a relatively short time frame.
Hey, Google, repeat.
Sure. The IPCC's 1.5 degrees Celsius special report, published in 2018, indicated that to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, global net human-caused carbon dioxide emissions would need to fall by about 45% from 2010 levels by 2030, reaching net zero around 2050. This means significantly reducing emissions in a relatively short time frame.
Okay, hey, Google, repeat.
Sure. The IPCC's 1.5 degrees Celsius special report, published in 2018, indicated that to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, global net human-caused carbon dioxide emissions would need to fall by about 45% from 2010 levels by 2030, reaching net zero around 2050. This means significantly reducing emissions in a relatively short time frame.
So approximately 50% reduction, 45, 50%, we'll call it 50% by 2030. And that was 12 years, 2018, 2028, 2030. That was 12 years. And so she came, Deanna Persay, and she has a business, and her business is it's a nonprofit. She has a school. Her sister was Down syndrome, and she's from like Minnesota or somewhere back east, Midwest, and she started a school for disabled adults, And so she was part of the Rotary Club too, because she had her school and as a business. And so she knew Rod Diridon. And she was actually working with Rod Diridon because he, at that point, he was very concerned about our climate crisis. And he started a program within hey, Google, what is the program within the Rotary Club that Honorable Rod Diridon Sr. started about our climate crisis?
While Rod Diridon Sr. is a prominent Rotarian, I don't have information indicating he specifically started a program within Rotary Club about the climate crisis. However, Rotary International has made supporting the environment a new area of focus, which includes addressing climate change. They have various initiatives like the Rotary Climate Action Team, RCAT network, which encourages clubs to take climate action and start projects related to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and strengthening ecosystems.
Oh, beautiful. Hey, Google, repeat.
Sure, while Rod Diridon Sr. is a prominent Rotarian, I don't have information indicating he specifically started a program within Rotary Club about the climate crisis. However, Rotary International has made supporting the environment a new area of focus, which includes addressing climate change. They have various initiatives like the Rotary Climate Action Team, RCAT network, which encourages clubs to take climate action and start projects related to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and strengthening ecosystems.
Hey, Google, repeat.
Sure. While Rod Diridon Sr. is a prominent Rotarian, I don't have information indicating he specifically started a program within Rotary Club about the climate crisis. However, Rotary International has made supporting the environment a new area of focus, which includes addressing climate change. They have various initiatives like the Rotary Climate Action Team, RCAT network, which encourages clubs to take climate action and start projects related to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and strengthening ecosystems.
Fabulous, 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 fabulous. We love you, Google. Anyway, and so we love you, Rod Diridon. Okay, so we love you, Dr. Gloria Duffy, his wife. All right, good. Political science. And hey, Google, what is Dr. Gloria Duffy's degree in?
Dr. Gloria Duffy has a PhD in political science from Columbia University.
Hey, Google, where is Columbia University? New York.
Columbia University in New York is
New York.
located at 116th and Broadway, New York.
I'm from New York.
10027.
Okay, good. So, Dr. Gloria Duffy and Honorable Rod Diridon. So I have to contact them. That's what I'm going to do, is contact them. And then they were saying that the Rotary clubs have climate action teams for environmental. Hey, Google, what is the Rotary Club's climate action team?
The Rotary Climate Action Team, or RCAT, is a network within Rotary International dedicated to addressing climate change. They work to raise awareness, provide education, and encourage individuals and businesses to take action for the planet. The RCAT network provides resources, speakers, and a platform for Rotary clubs to share their climate-focused projects globally.
Well, they said environmental and, ecosystem. So, reducing our greenhouse gases and ecosystem ecosystem saving or ecosystem ecosystem support, to save our ecosystems, save our butterflies, save our bees. Okay, good. So, all right, good. So I guess long story short, what was it? Rod Diridon. So I want to contact Rod Diridon. So I met Rod Diridon at the at the city hall, and he loved us for protesting, and we were protesting. We wanted San Jose to declare a climate emergency, and we were out there with Deanna, and she was part of the Rotary already. And I think then now she's been working with the Rotary in terms of her activism. She has 2 kids and a husband, and so basically, but I called her, but she never called me back. And then I've also called my friend, what's her name? I couldn't reach her either. I guess I'm gonna go over to the Sonol house. But anyway, Roberto Adobe, and see if I can reach her again. My friend Julissa. Anyway, so because I wanted them to help me get in touch with Rod Diridon, but I can get in touch with Rod Diridon and his wife, Dr. Gloria Duffy, and PhD. And so, well, she's Dr. Gloria Duffy. Anyway, and so that, yeah, and what we want is the Rotary Club to help with making the Garden Alameda, which is my neighborhood, ironically called the Garden Alameda. Not ironic, it's the history of, I mean, we're in the Valley of Heart's Delight. This is the Valley of Heart's Delight. And I'm here. Yay. Yay me. My mother said I was going to marry a plant. And I guess I did. I married a biologist. Better than a plant. And he's made this great house for us here in Silicon Valley, here in San Jose, here in the Garden Alameda, the Valley of Heart's Delight. And we're growing food, which we all need to do. So, okay, so then I want, the Rotary Club. So my proposal, and now I have a proposal out to the county. I've been yesterday when I was at the meeting of the my neighborhood association, Shasta Hampshire Park Neighborhood Association, also known as SHPNA. These are one of the best and the biggest neighborhood associations in San Jose. And so we're part of that. And I got to speak to the county, Susan Ellenberg, our county supervisor, who also lives in our neighborhood. And she's in the Rose Garden, more or less. She'd be in the Rose Garden. I'm in the Garden Alameda Neighborhood Association, Garden Alameda. Anyway, I was going to start a group called the Garden Alameda Neighborhood Association. What was I calling it? It was Garden Alameda Neighborhood Association, Ghana. I guess it's Ghana. Garden Alameda, but there was some other name. Garden Alameda. Anyway, I had something to do with that. There was some acronym I was using because I wanted to start our own right here because we have specific problems. But anyway, so then it was Garden Alameda Neighborhood Association. I guess I could. I should just start. I really should start a neighborhood association. That's what I should do. I should do that. But anyway, so I was just talking, and even when I'm at the SHPNA, they're very, Tessa's gonna talk. And they're always jumping down my back. But so I want to be on my board. I have to be on my board. We're going to talk as much as I want. Okay, good. So maybe I do have to start a neighborhood association. We should start a neighborhood association. Yeah. And then we can have our people come to see us. Right. Right. So, okay, good. So where is it? So anyway, getting back. So there she was. And I met Rod Diridon at first. Was at with Deanna, and when we were, protesting. So what is it? 50% by 2030. All right, that's 4 years now. 50% reduction in our greenhouse gases. Well, that's why Cougar is a doomer, because we're not doing that. We're going off the rails. We're going to 3 degrees C, 4 degrees C. And what do those numbers mean? We don't even know what they mean. 3 or 4 sounds small, but it's not. Every 10th of a degree, first of all, it's C. So it's like, hey, Google, C is about 2 times what Fahrenheit. Is that true?
No, that's not true. Celsius and Fahrenheit are 2 different scales for measuring temperature, and their relationship isn't a simple multiplication. For example, 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and 100 degrees Celsius is 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, well, anyway, 1 degree C. Hey, Google, what is 2 degrees C above pre-industrial levels in Fahrenheit?
2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels is equivalent to 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, 3.6. So we're going to 2. We're going to 2 on grease skids. We're at 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit above pre-industrial. 3.6. If we were, looking at our, temperature, what is it? 98.6. Hey, Google, what is 98.6 plus 3.6? Hey Google, what's 98.6 plus 3.6?
98.6 plus 3.6 is 102.2.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if you had 102.2 fever? Could you imagine what that would be like? You would not be standing up right now. We would be in bed. Hey Google, what is 102.2 fever? Is that a very bad fever?
A temperature of 102.2 degrees Fahrenheit is considered a high-grade fever for an adult. While it's not usually considered an immediate emergency on its own, it's a good idea to monitor it closely. For adults, you should call a healthcare provider if your temperature is 103 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, or if you have symptoms like severe headache, stiff neck, confusion, difficulty breathing, or persistent vomiting. For children, a fever of 102.2 degrees Fahrenheit is significant. You should contact their healthcare provider, especially if they are under 6 months old. The fever lasts longer than 24 hours, or they show other concerning symptoms like irritability, unusual sleepiness, rash, or vomiting.
Hey Google, what is 2 degrees C above pre-industrial in Fahrenheit?
2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels is equal to 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
3.6. Okay, so 3.6 is the 2 degrees, but we're on grease skids to 2 degrees C. We are totally on, and we're already having so much destruction and so much weather whiplashing, weather catastrophes with just 1.5 that we're at, and we're most probably at 1.6 or 7, and they say every 10th of a degree matters, and so we're already at 1.5, which was already the goalpost that we weren't supposed to go over because of tipping points and the extreme weathers that we would be getting from that, and the breakdown of our earth dynamic systems and the breakdown in our planetary. Hey Google, what does Johann Rockström call the 9 planetary, what are they called?
Johann Rockström calls them the 9 planetary boundaries. The 9 planetary boundaries are 1. Climate change 2. Biosphere integrity, or rate of biodiversity loss 3. Land system change 4. Freshwater use 5. Biogeochemical flows, covering the nitrogen and phosphorus cycles 6. Ocean acidification 7. Stratospheric ozone depletion 8. Atmospheric aerosol loading 9. Introduction of novel entities, also referred to as chemical pollution.
That's it. 9 planetary boundaries. We've gone into tipping 9 planetary boundaries. Hey Google, what are the 9 planetary boundaries? Are those the tipping points?
The 9 planetary boundaries are a framework of Earth's life support systems that are essential for maintaining a stable planet. They are 1. Climate change 2. Biosphere integrity, or rate of biodiversity loss 3. Land system change 4. Freshwater use 5. Biogeochemical flows, covering nitrogen and phosphorus cycles 6. Ocean acidification 7. Stratospheric ozone depletion 8. Atmospheric aerosol loading 9. Introduction of novel entities, chemical pollution. To answer your second question, the planetary boundaries are not the same as tipping points. Tipping points are thresholds beyond which Earth systems can shift into a new, often irreversible state. The planetary boundaries are set to define a safe operating space to avoid reaching these tipping points. However, the science of tipping points does inform where some of these safe boundaries are set.
Hey Google, what are planetary boundaries?
Planetary boundaries are a scientific framework that identifies the environmental limits within which humanity can safely operate. These boundaries represent key Earth system processes that, if pushed too far by human activities, could lead to irreversible environmental changes and threaten the stability of the planet.
Right. All right, let's see. I'm at 36, so I guess I'll do like 4 more minutes, and then I'm done. I got to go out and get some sunshine. Okay, good. So, where are we? So talking to Rod Diridon. Oh, and I guess I put something into the county. I'm dealing with my county and my city. What Cougar is a Doomer has suggested for our city is that they create a a plan for in Parks and Rec, to have a growing food program, having a growing food program in Parks and Rec. And so that would be a program, a class that you could take in Park and Rec. Like my kids would take theater, and we should be teaching growing food as a art and a crafts and a lifestyle change that we need to make to grow our own food. And in terms of our biodiversity loss, to help sustain ecological. What Brad Cat was saying, Cougar was saying that we need to be about survival and ecological something, ecosystem support, and like it was something like that. Not sustainability, but anyway. So anyway, that was that we have to start growing food for ourselves and locally, and that's what they said with the. So I want the Rotary Club too. So I guess I'm creating a letter, and I guess I could send it. I should send it to Shipna, put it in their newsletter. Yeah. Right. So I didn't talk about that last night. I had my chance to talk. The 2 minute. I should have taken 2 minutes. Okay, good. So I didn't take any of my time. I should have taken my time, but I didn't. So next month, I guess they're having a yeah, but they don't do it virtual. They're having a yearly meeting, but I'm not going to go. And yeah. Because I could go. It's at the Westminster Church in January and talk about that we need to. Okay. Well, we need to build the beds. We need to be on a war footing to create. What is it called? Victory Gardens. We need to be on a war footing. And so we need to be on a war footing to create Victory Gardens, is what I'm saying. And so I guess I could go to that meeting and talk to, or at least ask a question. If they let me ask a question. I don't like going into meetings, so I might not go. We'll see. I'll go to the next board meeting and definitely talk about it. But I did talk about the problem with our street. And our street was, we need traffic calming on our street. And so I have to talk to my neighbor who was harassed by another neighbor for asking him to slow down. He just said, slow down or whatever, as the guy's speeding down our block. And the guy came back and zoomed around and said, how dare you tell me what to do? And so I'm saying to our government is that we have to engineer traffic calming, because you cannot talk to people about slowing down because they'll kill you, as we're seeing. All right, we love you. I did my 40 minutes. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And what else? Subscribe, share, buy me a coffee. No, buy me a tea. And anything else? I guess that was it. And anyway, I don't see any comments or anything. Comment, share, like, subscribe. Oh, and buy Cougar W's book. It's been 100 days, an end of civilization novel. And then I love the other line he says too, which is how to live without fossil fuels. So something I have to read that other line from his book. All right, see you tomorrow. We love you. Or maybe tonight if I do another 40 minutes. All right, we love you. Bye. Hey, Google, turn off the treadmill. Hey, Google, turn off the treadmill. Hey, Google, turn off the treadmill. No? It's supposed to work. All right, I did it. love you. Have a good day. Fossil fuel free, of course. The only way to have a good day. All right. Bye bye. And meet your neighbors and build your village. That's your job. We love you. Bye. Oh, I'm going to use my old fashioned mouse.